Absolutely. This
So
is
how did you
great.
hear about this?
Yeah, just a second. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's in this kind of story, let's say.
Yeah.
um, there was seeking happened over the years, and basically, yeah, sooner or later, there was yeah, apparently. Uh, a day when YouTube the algorithm did this wonderful job, and yeah, and then I found out about yeah, your expression of the unexpressible, and this is just a wonderful yeah, it's just a wonderful happening here in this,
Yeah.
and
Hooray.
yeah, and then yeah, ha there was this all the seeking energy is just yeah, I don't it was never there in the first place,
Yeah. Hooray.
but then yeah, yeah,
It's so unbelievable, isn't it? Right? That it
yeah,
was never there in the first place, that there was really no seeking happening. The
yeah,
seeking seemingly was happening, but to no one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just very just the obviousness of it, that it's just what is apparently happening that's also not happening. And there's just this radiance, whatever this is, right? The unknowableness of this, and the just the obviousness of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so in the story, how long has Martin been seeking?
Oh, yeah. Basically, the this seeking started when there were some health issues, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
then and this there was a kind of the seeking started from a subtle stage, and it intensified, and because I thought, okay, there must be something more to this,
yeah,
and then there was this yeah, it got stronger then, and then basically it started with Eckhart Tolle,
yeah,
and then Muji, and then Rupert Spira, and all these guys, and yeah, it's and I thought, okay, and there were some glimpses, and then
yeah,
and then I was going for the next, hoping for the next one to
yeah, yeah.
appear. So it was
And so
it,
what seemingly happened then, when the video was seen? It was just clear, right? It's just there's nothing to
yeah,
seek.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it basically in this story there was this I had well I just did a kind of a it was kind of fun. There was I wrote on a paper
yeah,
unconditional love,
yeah,
and I put a glass of water on it, and and then yeah, and over the night, and the next morning I drank it, and this was the day when you're in the story, let's say, your video appeared, or and
oh. It's
it's,
just a story, but
yeah,
that's
it's
a
just
funny
a
story though.
story.
Which
Yeah.
which video did you watch?
Basically, honestly, I watched pretty all these videos whatever were recommended, and then I followed your channel, and when I did my sports, I watched the videos because it's like music to my ears.
Yeah,
It's
it's funny when there's
because
it.
there's
Sorry, go ahead.
this uh, there are words, but there are no words. But
Yeah.
the words that this Emerson is expressing, these words are dancing around this what's not what cannot be captured in words.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny because it cannot be expressed in words. And but words are being somehow used, although nothing's happening, to
Mm,
express that this is really without words. So there's this seeming happening that is happening through words, the narrative, the story, whatever seems to go on. And that's what's being pointed, that this is actually wordless. And it's just, yeah, you're right. It's like a dance around of words. It's, oh no, 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 not it, not that. Emptiness, and all of these words are completely meaningless. And
yeah.
so when there's a throwing off of the words, when the words trip, when the words get caught up, you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, amazing is just another word, but
Yeah,
it's in this story, there's often this stickiness of all this and the belief system and all this stuff, and then you go for something, you seek, and you but you're not you it's there's so much energy involved apparently, and but and when you're in this, it feels sometimes I can it's there are no words to say, but there is actually, I honestly I had this thought, okay, I just I was I wanted to have this meeting and just talking with you from the emptiness to the emptiness, and it's
yeah.
this is it's just fascinating to have a conversation about something which cannot be talked about, and
Exactly.
that's
It's
but
so funny, right? It's so funny because um I started writing a book. Um
yeah.
there's a couple of books, right? So there, this there's this book that just kind of like it's just a whole bunch of words. So I called the book uh a book about this is not a book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what is a book?
Yeah, it's not a book.
It's not a book.
Yeah, because all of these words that it's just hilarious because I think in the story, right? I think I've said this many times. There was just speechlessness here. It's like, what's there to talk about
Yeah.
when it's just really this obvious,
Yeah.
right? And even this obviousness is just another word, just trying
Yeah.
to express something that is always um this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's always this. It's in every this kind of a clarity is always there. It's always,
yeah,
and then it's sometimes it might be yeah, there are some clouds going through this
yeah.
clarity, but it's always
It's
there.
always this clear. It's always clarity. Even when it is seemingly cloudy or muddy or whatever, it's always this because words are trying to, again, block or trying to obscure what cannot be said about. And the words, the moment that, there's like this infinite silence, right? And the moment that the word appears, it breaks the silence only as
Yeah,
an illusion
yeah,
because because words are also silent, but it just appears as words or sounds or thinking or thoughts or idea. And there's really no such thing as contractedness. There's no
mm,
contracted energy. There's no stickiness even. Because what's that again? It's just another thought. It's just another word. It's just
Yeah.
another break in the silence of what is always perfectly clear. It's obvious that it can't even be said. It's so obvious that you can't figure it out. It
It's,
doesn't need to be figured out. Yeah.
absolutely.
And if you
It's,
notice it in my videos, it's the same thing being said over and over again, but
yeah.
just creatively sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so wonderful. It's there's just uh this love for this for this undescribable, yeah, what's this? And this is even yeah,
Yeah.
can be, it's it's
I
the
just
end of
I just
words.
it's the end of words. The end of words is the end of the universe, the end of whatever is thought about. It's just the end of it because the words just maintain reality, but reality is just another word.
Yeah.
Even the end is just another word. I was
It's
talking to someone yesterday, and
yeah.
she came kind of like this, like almost like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. We're very, very kind of like, hesitant and everything, right? But very desperate. And and again, you know what? Towards the end, when clarity just appears, when there's the absence of trying to figure it out or trying to think about it, trying to grasp it, it just exposes. It's kind of like, oh,
Then it's openness.
yeah, it's just always open, right? But there's this tunnel vision that's like protected by words, right? There's this vision of like, inside or outside, thinking or not thinking, awareness or not awareness, absolute or nothing, all of these words that swirls, right? This swirls like an
Yeah.
alphabet soup. And then now you're just eating the soup, enjoying it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
seemingly
wonderful.
in the story, what seemed to have like when it was seen, what was kind of like was it? It's just ordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that it's always been this, and there's nothing, the whole story, it falls apart, and there
It doesn't have a chance, right? Just
it
any
doesn't have.
stories that will rise up is just basically like word salads, right? It's just this
Yeah,
tossing salads. And then you're like, oh,
yeah,
what was I so confused about? What was I seeking really? Or what
yeah.
even is an I?
Yeah, that's the I is the first word which creates the separation, is never was
Yeah,
never. And then when this yeah, seeing, or this clarity just came across through, yeah, in this story with Emerson.
uh,
then
although there's
there
no Emerson that did
and
anything.
there's no Martin.
And there's no Martin that figured out. But it's just so it's there's although nothing is offered, there is joyfulness, you know what I'm saying? When
Yeah,
there's just emptiness, speaking
yeah,
to emptiness, when it's seen without a witness, without an observation, without figuring out, without understanding, without anything. It's just
yeah.
perfect already.
It's
Yeah.
it's perfect, and this kind of this unconditional love, what this Martin was seeking for this long time.
Yeah.
It has always been there.
Yeah.
It has
It's
always.
it's hilarious, right? It's hilarious, right? Because it's like madness thinking that's like a bad dream almost, right? Like, you're dreaming of seeking and you're like, oh, there's no dream, there's no dreamer. There's
Yeah.
no you, there's no I, there are no words. It's just this.
It's just this. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's all. That's everything and nothing. And it's that's just yeah. I kind of yeah.
What a
No
trick,
words.
Noah. What a trick. What a perfect trick, right? It's like a trick.
Yeah.
It's like, how did I not see this? Right? It's kind of funny because it's getting caught up. It's like, like a horse with those blinders, and you can like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
this carrot, and that's
Yeah.
usually time or enlightenment or awareness or whatever. And then when all of a sudden the horse trips and then the blinders fall and it goes, oh,
Yeah. That's
there's no
how it
horse,
open.
there's no carriage, so there's nothing, there's no carrot, there's no enlightenment, there's no awareness. It's just this.
And then all these enlightenment, awareness, and all these things, just ideas. And
It is the self, the
yeah,
source, because the self is looking for the self, but there's no self in the first place.
yeah, yeah,
So everything I talked about it in that last 3 day event that I did, which
yeah,
was the end of, I think, the rise and fall of words. I don't know if you've seen
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
so because the I, the I word creates, maintains other words to maintain the self, although there's no
mm,
self. So it creates a higher self. It creates that there's a source. It creates the absolute or awareness. It creates this. The moment that it appears as a word, the moment that there's a word that got it. You know what I'm saying? It's just another trick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is it goes always this way. Another trick, another trick, another trick,
It goes
and
around and it's never ending. It's like a circle within a circle within a
yeah,
circle within a circle within a circle. It is all in the realm of knowing. But who's the knower?
yeah. There's no
Yeah, the
knower.
moment that knowing happens, it's already delusional.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
moment that there's a moment, it's already a delusion because there are no moments.
There's moment is in time, and what is time?
Yeah,
Timelessness. And,
yeah. It's like, or even it's funny because for some apparent seekers that is trying to um you know figure out what nothing is. The moment that it thinks that it's just nothing, then it also has come up with another idea again. Oh,
yeah.
this is nothing. What's
Looking for
nothing?
the nothing is also a
Yeah,
kind of seeking,
yeah.
and this the, so you there's this seeking. Okay, when now I go for the nothingness, and before I was going for the higher self or for awareness and enlightenment. So
Oh,
enlightenment was the wrong way. Now let's go for the nothingness.
yeah,
And
yeah. Let's, like, since I can't seem to be aware of the awareness or something,
uh,
let's go for nothing being everything. But that's just another trick. That's just another concept. That's just another idea. Or you know what? If I can't seem to find the higher self, then let's go for the no self, the no
mhm.
me. And then it keeps on thinking, when is the me going to drop?
The me was never
But
there. The no me, what's the no me there?
and again,
but
if
it, but
there's
it,
no me, so how can the me that is not really a me figured out that there was a no me? It's, it's just another word.
just another.
Yeah, it's just this. It's just really for a lack of words. It's just this, and that's not even this. Because
Yeah.
even trying to say this, the moment that it captures what this is, oh, you mean this? No, just this. The
That's
moment it enters the idea, right, it becomes an idea, then it becomes something else. It becomes the interpretation of what this is. But this does not require any interpretation. And And it's funny because when there was this other character that's been listening, and all of a sudden can like sent me like this long email basically that, oh my goodness, how come I it's just always this, it's always this. It was just ranting. And he goes, and I'm like, do you want to call me? Do you want to? And it just was not listening to it because it got frustrated. The character got frustrated because it's like, this is probably my 50th video that I've watched of you, and just was not paying attention to it. And then when it was not paying attention to it, but it was still listening to it, it heard one word that was kind of like really, really kind of like mind blowing for that one. It heard that it's all made up.
Mm. And it's all
It's
made
all
up.
made up. Yeah. So everything that is happening is all made up.
Yeah.
Everything that is being thought about is made up. The moment that it becomes a thought, it's made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly the this seeing from what is just the transparency in everything, what's appearing in this. It's it's
Yeah.
just
It's
it's
just
just
so transparently obvious, and it is just so clear, um, in the absence of thoughts.
yeah,
Even with thoughts, because there's really no thoughts. It's just
yeah,
what is. There's no more dualistic trying to get this or did not get this. There's no meaning or being. It's just the permanence
mm,
that cannot be experienced. There's always this permanence that cannot be known.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
this fullness that cannot be divided. It's always full.
yeah.
It cannot be sectioned. It cannot be divided. It cannot be, yeah.
Just this in everything, in
In
everything.
everything, yeah. In everything, yeah. It's just so,
It's
yeah. Seeking is a funny thing when it's seen that it's hopeless, but
yeah,
somehow the seeking is happening. So in that hopelessness, it should be seen that the seeking is not going to end because there's no seeker that started.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
There
just
was
what's happening.
there was no start. There
Yeah,
cannot be an end.
yeah, but somehow the energy of that gets in a loop, right? Seeking for something, but it's just the word looking for a word, thinking
Yeah.
that the word is real. The I, which is just a word, is thinking that it can be real by dropping the I.
Mm.
But there's no I in the first place.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. And
It's already dead.
it's already dead, and it has never happened because nothing's
No.
ever
Yeah,
just
that's what's kind of like shocking, right? Nothing has ever happened.
it's shocking, and it might be shocking, but it's so freeing.
It is.
It's so it's
It is. It's shocking that it's always this free.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That it's always been this freedom. That the
It,
seeking, even though you think that it's happening, even though it's not happening, is free to appear as a happening, although it's not happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's it appears in to be in a kind of lucid dreams. It's like
Yeah.
go. It's yeah. Uh, not I cannot find the right words, but
Yeah.
it it's it feels like similar to this,
Yeah.
and this is
It's
also this.
this and not this at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's like real and not real simultaneously.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's And it's always that way.
Yeah. It's
There's
always
not
that.
even a real and unreal. It's just this,
It's
right?
just it. Yeah.
It's just
Because
this.
yeah. Yeah.
There's no opposites, right? There's no kind of like, oh, it was this and not this. It's just this. And then the
Yeah.
words that appear seem to kind of like it's like this, but also like this. But that's just another thought.
That's just
Yeah, but it has to be expressed, right? So it's almost attempting to speak about something that cannot be spoken about
yeah.
by creating this narrative um, that it can't be spoken about.
Yeah, you're right, but this Emerson is who's not really there, but he's there. It's the one who's finding this words in a way that is so wonderful, and it's like music. And
Oh,
yeah,
thank
it's it's uh it's just wow, wow.
oh,
Unconditional
thank you.
love.
Yeah, it is just unconditional love, isn't it? Without trying to think of what unconditional love is, it's this, right? This is
Yeah,
unconditional love. Without words, without meaning, without understanding, without thoughts, without perceptions. It's just unconditional love. And it
yeah.
can't be thought about. It's just this. And
It's
it's
just
yeah, it's
it,
so funny because of the suffering in seeking was so felt so real, like a real nightmare.
yeah.
Did it seem like that for you too, for the character there for Martin? Was it like a real
Yes,
nightmare?
it was a nightmare because you had this you have this energy going to towards something, and then and you want more of this, and this uh, it's like you're running a marathon. It's and then you go further and further, and it's it's there's never an end because there's a seeking energy cannot
It's not
end.
even there. That there was
That,
no seeking energy that started, right? So
yeah,
how can it end? It's really nothing.
yeah,
It's really nothing. It's like clouds, right? So if we call a cloud a seeking energy, then of course you're going to be looking at clouds nonstop. Oh, is that the right cloud? No, that's not the right cloud. Oh, that
yeah.
cloud is too dark. That
Maybe
cloud
this is
is,
the right
oh,
one.
maybe this one, or maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow the
Yeah,
right cloud will
yeah,
come.
tomorrow is good day.
I saw it last year with trying to be aware of the right cloud because someone in awareness taught me the right cloud, but I can't seem to find it. I'm not aware of that right cloud anymore.
Yeah. I have to. I need to seek further. Yeah.
But the
It's
cloud is also looking for a cloud. It's not even there.
yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's wonderful to be able to laugh about it now.
Yeah.
It's
It's
wonderful.
funny with in a private one-on-one, it's usually kind of like, like there's this frustration and there's this ah
Yeah. And that's it.
because it's so funny, right? That um there's no one that did it because apparently, although this is just a story, what seemed to have happened that never happened is just you were just listening to words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the words just collapse, right? You're like, how did and all of a sudden it's like it's a
They're
dream of words.
yeah.
Yeah.
The words which led to this collapsing of the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone's telling me that this character is a word sniper, right? But it uses a word disguised as a word, but it's actually nothing.
yeah. Yeah.
So when it infiltrates or infects all the other words, meaning that they're all meaningless, then one by one they start falling. You're like, oh no, oh no, everything that I know then is just made up of words.
Yeah.
And it's just all empty. All the
Yeah.
words are empty. They're not really real. Even the word real is just a word that's
A
made up.
word. Oh wow, Emerson, it's wonderful.
Oh,
It,
I'm happy that
I'm
I'm
so
happy that there's this aliveness, this just awakeness, right? That's always been there, by the way.
yeah, yeah. It's always been there, and
It's
it's
always been this way. It's always this complete. It's always nothing missing. Always. It's funny, right? Because perhaps when you started listening to this character, you're like, what is he talking about?
yeah. I yeah. Yeah, you just said that. I think I thought, okay, I'm not sure. There must be something here. But yeah, and then it got
Yeah,
obvious. Then it got obvious, and then
it got just getting more obvious and obvious, right? Because the words just keeps on, somehow in this speaking about this, it sees that there's nothing that can undo something that's not even happening. But if the words keep on that's being expressed kills the other word and it's just uprooting, it's kind of like a thorn that uproots another thorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And it just becomes this glaring obviousness, right? It's kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's how it's, and then it's wrong.
Yeah, there's almost like a dam holding all the words. When the
Yeah,
dam breaks, all the words are let loose. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
and
yeah.
that's unconditional freedom, love, and oh,
Yeah. It just flows. It's
yeah,
always this. It's always like, okay, yeah. And it doesn't have to be this bliss, because that's just another word. It could be cloudy too. It could be, whatever it is. It's always this.
it's always
There's there's nothing that is not this.
yeah,
And although I'm using a word, but the word is just to point out that it's all the same. And the words create this better or worse, preferable or not preferable, but it's just what is.
yeah, and it's
But this
over.
is but this is crazy though, right? Because if you talk about this to some apparent other, although there's no other, they're like, what?
Yeah, it cannot be talked about with apparent others. It's
Yeah, because there are really no others. There are really no others. It's like or if somebody wants to debate about this is undebatable
yeah,
because it's just words against words.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's
it,
funny when this apparent undoing, it's like,
yeah.
oh wow. But it's almost like, oh, but who am I going to talk about it? Who can I
Wonderful.
tell? Oh shoot. Holy, it's like you want to go to the top of the mountaintops and announce, but who are you announcing it to? And that's the freedom that you don't have to announce freedom because it already is.
It's always
There's no one that did anything, that there's no one that, but yeah.
wonderful.
Oh,
Wonderful.
well, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording here.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Martin.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emerson. It's wonderful, and I really appreciated this having this conversation with you. And
It's really nothing.
yeah, you right.
Just going to stop